Hey guys, today's video is going to be a series from the HomeStory Cup Korean Qualifier number 1. HomeStory Cup happening live next month in July, and we have qualifiers for the event across all regions, as Shopify have sponsored full travel for any qualified player, which is obviously amazing. That's really cool now that HomeStory Cup is an EPT event. It's really awesome that basically anybody can go there. They're not restricted by travel costs or anything along those lines. This series specifically is Classic versus GuMiHo, first round of the qualifier. First up, there's a little bug with the UI on this one, but only for the first game. And also, I think during the first game, I was trying to figure out a little bit of my sound settings because my sound system reset, and I turned it back onto the wrong thing. So sorry for that a little bit. Otherwise, it's a really fun little TVP between the two of them, and we'll have a lot more HomeStory Cup qualifier coverage coming over the next few days. For now, sit back, enjoy the StarCraft. I love this new layout. I think the one thing people complained about when I used my previous UI or the UI that this was kind of developed from is people complained about not having an income kind of showing. Income didn't show, but now income does show, and I think that's maybe the coolest thing of all. So that's really sick, and there's some really cool extension mods being added with new graphs and stuff as well, so you can see resources lost over time. You can see resources gathered over time. They're not quite ready for competitive play yet, but just some really cool stuff in the future of StarCraft 2 observing and viewing. Amazing that people are still developing this stuff so many years deep in StarCraft 2's life cycle. As you have in the top right side, the blue Terran player from Size Dome Gaming. This is GuMiHo up against the red Protoss bottom left-hand side, Classic. We are going to build a barracks out of the frontier. This probe has not seen it. Notice there's no barracks in the base. Obviously doesn't know just how aggressive exactly this is trying to be, though, so you don't really have full info as to how this is going to go down. And let's just have this probe escaping up to the main base. And just going to go on a little bit of a wander around here. Is this HomeStory Cup going to be in a resort? No, this HomeStory Cup is going to be in the Take TV location in Germany. The same as it always is, apart from that one special time. That was a special kind of one-off occurrence, not the expectation for all future HomeStory Cups. But yeah, we do have Marauder opening and Hellions as well. All of this just fully one base, so actually very committed opening here. I'm going to make this pretty interesting to see how that works out. See if GuMiHo can do some serious damage. He did start Concussive Shells, cancel it, and started again. The Adept trying to figure out exactly what's going on too. Would love to actually be able to pick up some information here if at all possible. And actually he's going to run into the Adept, into the Marauder, but Concussive Shells isn't done, so without Concussive Shells being completed, this Adept is going to escape out over to the right-hand side. So Adept escapes out to the side there. I'm just going to be seeing otherwise a group of units from GuMiHo are going to get feisty right now. As Adept scouts everything that's on the way. You can now prepare with a battery, but no low ground battery. There's one on the high ground, but without the low ground battery, this could be kind of concerning. This could be a pretty major issue for sure, so I guess we'll see what happens here. Stalkers just gather up, and the Marauder Hellion Reaper will be beginning to move down to the bottom side, getting ready for this aggression, getting ready for this little bit of fighting to be done. And let's see if GuMiHo can find damage. Like I say, I'm kind of surprised the high ground battery. You know, to me, that's actually just very not quite where it needs to be. So yeah, a little bit shocked by that. We are going to see a Stalker and Adept going down immediately. Just couldn't get in range of the battery with all those units, so GuMiHo will start to deal pretty reasonable damage here. As a couple of Marauders continue to go through, the Stalkers continuing to strike. I'm just going to be having the pylon now in some trouble as well. Take some extra shots here. I mean, just no mind from the natural at all, and Classic having a much tougher time than I feel like this ever had to be. He definitely feels like he brought this upon himself. They are going to get rid of this pylon at least, and again, that's going to make Classic's low ground benches here a little bit difficult. A little bit tough to make work as we start to go up this ramp. Marauder, the Hellions, the Reaper all coming through. Seeing if they can actually just keep this going. I mean, the battery's not in range of any Nexus either, right? Another reason this was kind of a weird little situation. I mean, in the end, this is going to be dealt with. Classic does lead by 13 workers. Remember, GuMiHo was one base all this time and still is one base, so he's looking to win the game off this upcoming push. It's a lot more Marauders than Hellions. Classic? Oh no, Classic's gonna blink forward as well. No, that's a dead Stalker. He didn't realize at all this was gonna be continued aggression. He does lose that Stalker. And GuMiHo is coming to try and end this game. He's got Stim as well, by the way. Armory about to be done, so we can actually morph in Hellbats if we need to. Even better. Fantastic. Okay, here we go. Hellbat's going to be extremely tanky here. This is all just about fighting. This is about ending the game as GuMiHo, Marauder, Hellbat to try and win this TVP. There's an Immortal on the way out, but I think we're going to get up this ramp in plenty of time to just be on top of it as it spawns. There is nowhere near the damage output necessary here for Classic. There's the Immortal. We just target fire that down straight away. These few Hellbats might want to just peel away toward the mineral line. For a moment he was like, I'll target the Robo. Then he's like, actually no need to target the Robo considering kind of the position we're in. GG from Classic. And I really think it all comes down to that battery on the high ground. It's just not a good idea. Just do not think that's a good idea at all. Let's see here quickly. It's just me. I just feel like everything's so quiet compared to usual. I don't know, like usually I feel like game sounds are like really loud, but now they feel like really quiet, so I even feel like that's quiet. Let me know what you guys think. I've just boosted them all up, but I feel like generally people complain about the game sounds being too quiet, so if I feel like they're quiet, they should be really quiet, so I'll turn them up a little bit. Funky build from GuMiHo takes game number 1 for him. He is going to start up 1-0 in the lead in this best of 3. Taking on the bottom left red Protoss, it is going to be Classic. I'm really confused why he didn't build a battery on the low ground to begin with. I understand it's one base and you might think of defending on the high ground. There's no world in which you shouldn't have had a low ground battery as well. Low ground battery instantly saves you in that situation. Yeah, kind of, I mean, genuinely surprised by what went down there. That was a little bit weird, honestly. A little bit weird. Well, Cybercore is just going to be coming up and just going to be seeing SCV, Marine all coming through, Orbital Command, building on the side of GuMiHo, and this SCV is actually going to expand this time around, so GuMiHo already playing a much more normal game here for game number 2. As you just see the probe heading forwards, and he's going to see a Marine, and he sees the expansion as well, so Classic gets the information you're kind of looking for in this scenario, right? So he gets to see that straight away. That's really good. So yeah, nice little bit of info from Classic, and obviously work from there. And we'll be happy he doesn't have to worry about the one base problems this time around at least. Or at least he shouldn't. As our Nexus as mentioned before, we're going to see the bunker is finishing up. CC on the natural going to be completing here soon as well. And we'll wait to see what the follow-up is this time around. Blizzard changed the game sounds? What? Really? Why would they change the game sounds? Surely not. There's no patch or anything. How could they change the game sounds? There's no way they changed the game sounds from last night to today. Surely not. That would be incredible. A StarCraft patch, Pogs. As if you're going to get nipped at as that Stalker gets a few shots on it, and these couple of Hellions will slip down the right-hand side. Oracle is already building from Classic, so it's going to get that Oracle into play. And with the Oracle coming out, we see a medevac, couple Widow Mines on the way through as well. All of that just getting set up for some Widow Mine dropping action with the Hellions to support. Maybe run by early, not just yet. Gonna wait a little while. Usually better to kind of go in sync with the Widow Mines as well, right? So just gonna wait out for that a little bit. And do have our Stalker there to help turn those Hellions away. Okay, the music's fine. Like, it's just so weird for me to feel like the game sounds low, you know? Like I say, usually I'm like, God damn it, guys, why do you want to turn them up even further? It's blowing my ears out right now. Yeah, I don't know. Oracle comes up, though, and is going to try and get rid of an SCV or two in the main base. Marine there starts to deal some damage. A couple Marines and probes continuing through. And just going to be having our bunker sat at the front. Oracle's actually having a great time. Didn't realize we didn't have the game hot mod on, but 7 worker kills on the Oracle. Sorry, 6 worker kills and a Marine. So pretty strong Oracle play to start out with. Widowmine drop comes in across the map. And the first connections, yeah, mediocre, right? Gets 2 kills. Is going to have 2 more Widowmines still. Hellions move into the natural. Funny, because the Phoenix lifting the Hellion there actually saves the medevac. Gives it a chance to get away. We'll check the final worker kill tab in a second, but all the Hellions are hitting probes, and their probes all stack up. Oh my god. Right at the end, the Hellions did mega damage. 9 probes end up going down. I mean, this would be amazing for GuMiHo, but you still got to remember the fact he has lost a lot of SCVs. And Classic didn't lose anything in kind of dealing his damage. He only lost the probes in this game, whereas GuMiHo's lost a lot of early units while killing the probes. So, and losing SCVs. So that's definitely the difference right now. Don't mind that Classic comes across the map to be a bit aggressive. I think that begins to make a lot of sense, honestly. So let's see as we come on over. Starport is going to drop down a reactor. And we'll just see our few adepts continuing to shade on up. We're going to move into the natural expansion here and start going through. There's just going to get a Cyclone getting lifted up. These few SCVs will continue to be in a little bit of trouble right now. Auto turret going through. Just going to try and fire away at whatever it can, try and clean this up. Now we're going to have the Cyclone coming in as well. Guys, I've realized why the game sounds wrong. I'm so dumb. Oh, yeah. What was this on? 67? 10? I know why it's wrong. I've put it through the wrong thing. I put it through the wrong audio system. There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know why it reset that, but then I just clicked the wrong one. That was silly of me. All right, all fixed. All right. I knew the game sounds wrong. I knew the sounds were wrong. I was so confused. Jeez, okay. Too early in the day, guys. It's only just past midday, you know? It's too early to be figuring things out. Do have the Cyclone getting a little lock on there. Stalker taking some damage and being pushed away already. Let's just have ourselves Stimpack, Combat Shield, +1 attack. All of that continuing through at the moment on the side of GuMiHo. Reactor going to finish up on the starport. Extra barracks coming down. And we'll see how aggressive GuMiHo ends up being then, because 5 racks. Yeah, okay, it's after 3 CC, but, you know, it's still got a chance to kind of power up. The fact it's done, you know, before the 3rd CC is out in position or anything. Let's see. I mean, he is going to add an extra add-on, so it's not going to be anything too aggressive. But I was just getting excited for a little while. It means he is kind of hitting his production strides, though. You know, he's doing things at the sort of time as they should be. +1 combat shield all coming through. We do see charge done up on the Twilight Council. +1 attack will begin on the Forge. An additional assimilator going down on the 3rd base. I'm just going to be seeing these Stalkers. Just going to be able to come out the front, sit here, and set up a defense. Should it be needed. Obviously, blink in play, but no real presence across the map from Classic. He does have the Oracle for map control, but I'm surprised the Stalkers aren't out on the map just to kind of be there, right? Just, you know, for moments like this, they could be getting a Marine or 2. And this just feels like maybe a missed opportunity from Classic for no real reason. I mean, unless he's genuinely afraid that GuMiHo would just overwhelm him. And goes the Oracle, as we actually find the gateway off to the left side as well, so GuMiHo can shut down that. That's already cancelled. He'll just leave 1 Marine on the pylon. He's going to focus on going across the map ASAP here, seemingly, and wants to maybe get in and, you know, deep and try and deal some damage. Nothing really comes of it in the end, though, as we are just going to be seeing our Zealot Stalker back around the right-hand side. And still an army of GuMiHo in the middle now. The Zealots are actually kind of exposed. They're just on their own. The Stalkers pulled all the way back to deal with these Widow Mines. GuMiHo just didn't see them. Otherwise, he maybe could have forced a fight, at least kind of had a run at them. Could have been kind of neat, so... yeah, as you do see the Bioforce just escaping off up to the top. Zealot Stalker will continue to loom back around. GuMiHo's a little bit of a distraction has now dissipated, so he can go full force with his army. He will catch the medevac that's trying to get back home. That was the culprit that set up the Widow Mine drop. First Widow Mines, well, they both go off on the right side. Only 2 Zealots for the 2 mines. No splash elsewhere, and that's the most notable thing. Without the splash going elsewhere, GuMiHo's just a little bit less capable of being able to, cleave through these Zealots super easily and so on. Classic's not wasting any time. He is diving straight into this army. Zealot Stalkers just go and running at this. This time the Widowmines do hit a little bit better. CV count will be suffering slightly from this, but 52 to 59 coming out at the end, not bad. Sorry guys, really struggling without the game hard mod on because just can't see how many workers got killed exactly there, but a fair few going down. Stem forwards, a couple more Zealots drop. And start working our way through the Stalkers as well. +2 attack. That's coming in on the Forge. So it's going to go run towards that third base. The rest of these Marines pulling away. Marauders getting surrounded a little bit. A lot of Zealots going down, obviously just being chipped away at. With the Colossus starting to show up, I do get a bit worried maybe now for GuMiHo. He doesn't really have much to deal with Colossi. Moving into Ghost initially, which would maybe allow him to overwhelm Colossi with good EMPs, but the more Colossi that gets up, the less like that is to really be an effective way of dealing with all of this. See what I mind Siege. She's gonna go boom boom. Zealot Stalker go down instantly. And they're just gonna turn back into the middle of the map. There's now down the left hand side a Bioforce and Medivacs. Gonna start making a play. Going through, get rid of those Widow Mines. Just gonna go charging up towards the third base. In we go, a couple more Widow Mine shots gonna be connecting. A lot of Zealots going down so far. Obviously, it does turn into a bit of a base trade situation, but there's already 2 Colossi here defensively from Classic, so defensively it looks like he's gonna be fine. I mean, already you see GuMiHo is gonna lose all the SCVs on this base, loses the command center. Now his Bioforce is going to turn back around, aim for these Colossi. Classic. Going to lose 1, going to lose 2. Maybe this keeps this attack alive for GuMiHo. He doesn't have enough at all to fight back at home, though. He's just losing on 2 fronts. Eventually, he's going to get cleaned up over here. He is being cleaned up on his own side. Classic is going to tie this series 1-1 in the best of 3. Sorry, game number 3. Counting is difficult. Don't let them tell you otherwise. In the bottom left-hand side, the blue Terran player from Storm Gaming. This is GuMiHo. Top right, the red Protoss player. Classic. Alright, then third map of the series. What are we expecting? Kind of expecting a bit more aggression out of GuMiHo. See if he can kind of get things in his favor early again, perhaps. And then kind of going from there. If I had to make a prediction about Classic, big map, I think we go Stargate again. Stargate into Blink, and just kind of go in that sort of direction. I feel like I've not seen as much of Classic lately as I would have liked to, and maybe possibly that does have something of an impact, what I think. I just think he's one of these guys that's very happy to play kind of the map control, get comfortable early, know what he's up against, and from there, really able to make some nice, cool decisions as to how things get set up. So he chases that probe down, and the Reaper is going to come through, grabs this probe. That's a nice shutdown already. Reaper was built from a barracks that's just outside the base. Again, GuMiHo keeping up those illusions early in the game, trying to make it difficult for Classic to know exactly what is going on, and just trying to keep things hidden away. The Reapers want to make a move forward. And Deb going to start taking some nibbles. So Deb coming through as well. Grenade goes down. And I'm just going to see the Reapers continuing to go back and forth there for a little while with the Adepts. Nothing too major, nothing too exciting, honestly. As the Adepts do shade forwards, but I'm not going to be able to quite catch those Reapers. Do come back around the bottom side now. Now down to the center. We're seeing the armory on the way up here from GuMiHo. And he's going to have cloaked Widow Mines then to continue dropping with, and that's going to be his way to really try and pressure the Prowler early, try and get some damage done, and make something happen. Oracle gets one Reaper. Oracle going to get two Reapers. The medevac just continues all the way to the top side, ready to go dropping into the back of this natural. That's bad. That's really bad. Oh my god. Classic went for the all-out gonna just kill you. And when you go for that and it fails, it's horrendous. Bunch of probes going down, a lot of splash damage across the units as well. Yeah, this is just really, really bad. I mean, we're about to have these Widow Mines firing again. The class is going to continue losing mining time. One Widow Mine moved up into the frontier as well. And I'm just going to get a few more probes over there. This Widow Mine at least gets revelated and does get killed off. Prioritizes that one because it was the last to fire, so was still able to stop it from doing more damage. Still two left in the natural here as Revelation does hit both, and they weren't able to split up any further, unfortunately. That does mean that Classic cleans up now. Still sits 6 workers ahead, all of that done and dusted. Geez, what a slow down to his economy. You don't have the income graphs available because we don't have the game hop mod again. Why we let the players? This is why we don't let players host games. We're actually going to kill an Oracle there, by the way, as well. So targeted that could have had a chunk of probes in the mineral line. Decided to go for the Oracle instead on the Widow Mine connection. I find that interesting. I mean, an Oracle is good value, but that was like a clump of probes. I guess if you go for the Oracle, it's guaranteed, where if you target fire the probes could maybe split away last second, and then you don't get as much done. Would have been difficult, but yeah. It's not like it was the only Oracle either, so it's not like it would have stopped any of the other Widow Mines from ever being detected. There is another Oracle that, you know, still is going to provide those detection, those revelations and that detection. The Marines will drop back home, get back there. And yeah, gotta love where GuMiHo's put himself off the early game damage. Neil drops into the natural. I'm just going to see this one Marine still wandering forward. And just heading towards the upper right-hand side. Stalkers will continue to run down to the bottom and obviously just look to put some pressure on. Blink now finishing. And again, just all of this pressure early from GuMiHo definitely adds up. And the Stalkers are going to be able to put some pressure on, but will they be able to deal with this counterattack now? The Stalkers just get past this army, he's going to pull it back, and that's going to distract GuMiHo a lot. Looks like GuMiHo's just going to send it across the map. That's very scary because that's Stimpack right there. And I don't think Stimpack is going to survive this. And without Stim, his army across the map is nowhere near as scary. Actually, don't target fire Stim. We're going to fight the units and fight the SCV. So actually, it's going to be okay for GuMiHo. Wow, good call from him then, because going across the map right now might just be the killing blow. We recall those Stalkers back. Okay, Stim's still not done though. It's not like we're ready to fight straight away here. Now, Widow Mine actually hits a probe, which is probably not ideal in this situation when you kind of want to be getting through Zealots. It splashed some Zealots, but just didn't take one down in full. So maybe a little bit unfortunate there as well. A bit of mine dropping the back. Just going to be seeing 3 probes going down to this one. We do see the rest of this Bioforce. And GuMiho just still pressuring the front. So like I say, he's, in my eyes, a little bit lucky to have retained his stim pack upgrade. I feel like Classic maybe could have gone for that. He might have not could have done as much overall, but delaying stim would have completely shut down this kind of an attack. That said, did he need to shut down this kind of an attack? It's already been shut down, no? So yeah, maybe it wasn't necessary to stop stim, because right now stim is not making this any different. Results coming through, charging forward, good defense from Classic, and he just has plenty. Wow. He is going to hold this off. This move across the map from GuMiho has unfortunately not worked out for him at all. And it does look as though this is going to be starting to trickle into Classic's kind of favor. There's a few Zelds just coming in. It's going to rally out over this right-hand side. And just going to be prepping over here. Unfortunately, the attack actually comes in from the left side. GuMiho moving over there, but just doesn't feel like GuMiho ever has really enough to be threatening at the moment. Just going to continue to chase down with this group of units. Going after the Marine Marauder. Medevac's all going down. Completely shut down. GuMiho GG's. He's also got some troubles on his third base that's been halted from building. And that is going to be that. Classic 2-1 over GuMiho moves through to the next round.